Greetings. Let me ask you this question. Do you love the life that money can afford? We have been hearing in recent times of the oligarchs of Russia and the different estates they own in different parts of the world, in different countries, and the way they live. Money works for them. We have been hearing of the president of Russia, of his yachts, and the luxurious life that money has afforded him to live. And there are others all over the world, billionaires and multi-billionaires. Now, let me tell you how you may empower yourself to make clean megabucks through marketing. There are so many people out there who are working the 9-to-4 job, and their life is not cutting it. They're not really cutting it. They're not enjoying the best of life, the best that life has to offer. Now, this book is designed to inform you of how you can make money, you can improve yourself, you may improve your life through marketing. There's a way to live, to make a living, decent living. This book is designed for persons who are in business or who are planning to start up a business in this post-modern age. It is also designed for that person who is frustrated in his job or who is out of a job and wants to make big money in a legal yet rewarding manner. In marketing, unlike 9-to-5 jobs, the key is the limit in earning, the sky is the limit in earning big bucks. The sky. That means there's no limit set to your income. You determine your income. You determine your salary for every month. The world has changed in fundamental ways over the past 20 or so years. And even though change is not new, it had been taking place since the dawn of time. Yet the change which is taking place in this time is by far more rapid and fundamental than it had ever been. And its currents have swept many persons and systems aside and have rendered them obsolete. Many have been rendered obsolete, by the change in time, by the time in which we now live. Many have been rendered obsolete. They just can't manage, they can't cope with the change that has taken place and that continues to take place. It doesn't have to happen to you, but you have to live. You can't afford to roll over and die. The internet has changed the world in fundamental ways. It, along with modern transportation, has reduced distances among people and has opened new opportunities to speed and ease of accessing information. This change is not meant that mankind of the old paradigm should roll over and die. It means that all and sundry should study what is taking place around them and try to adapt to it to remain relevant. The change is taking place. And you're alive. You have life. No, you can't terminate your life because you tell yourself you cannot fit in this post-modern age. You have got to find a way to survive and prosper. The change that has taken place means that we need to try to adapt to the change in order to be relevant. This book is to enable people, all and sundry, to adapt to the change that is taking place around us. This is not the time for older persons to give up on the ground that they cannot fit into this new world and leave things to their children and grandchildren. They too can learn and log on to the new movement. Older folks can learn new ways of doing things and join with the young and modern to make things happen. You can't give up. Join with the young and modern. Join with the children and grandchildren. Join with the youngsters who live beside you. Link up with them, because there is a way to survive. You have to continue to survive. The older folks have experience and knowledge, while the younger folks are equipped with cutting-edge technology and they know how. The two groups need to form a coalition and keep the ball rolling. The older folks have something that the younger folks do not have. The older folks have experience and they have knowledge. The younger folks understand the technology of the time much better, much easier than the older ones. But a coalition can be formed because they need you and you need them. Yes, the world has changed and continues to change at a rapid speed, but life goes on. One historian once said that in a world where change is inevitable, those persons who learn to accept it, those who learn to adjust themselves to it most effectively, they command the future. Yes. If you learn to adjust yourself to it, you command the future. If you fail to adjust yourself to it, the future will leave you. Right? This book deals with the world as it is. This book. And it undertakes to help the potential businessman or those who have been in business for some time and need to make fundamental readjustment to get going and to keep afloat. The sales representative who has been around for some time now will need to be retrained to remain relevant and competitive, but it is not over yet. Life goes on. It's not over. It's not over. This is not the time to roll over and give up. This is not the time to call it quits. No. I got started in marketing. In sales, I got started in sales because a close relative of mine who had been living at my place had told me about this salesman who had come to her office to sell her industrial chemicals for the college where she had been working. When I heard of it, I told her to ask the man if his company needed a worker, and she assured me that she had done so. I had been in pastoral work full-time up to that point and had become so frustrated. The problems in the church system were crushing me, and the salary was a mere pittance. I had been barely surviving by the skin of my teeth. I had been looking for something to do that would subsidize what I had been getting as salary, but without success. I don't know if you've been at that stage. Because one of the qualifications for sales and journalism is poverty. Yes. On the salesman's next visit to her office, he told her that the company needed a sales representative, but I would have to own and drive a motor car. I did not have a car at the time, and neither did I have the money to buy a reasonable used one. I received the news of the job offer with jubilation, even though I was seriously challenged by the lack of funds to get a car. However, the steel in me told me that this was a call to arms. This was a call. So with God's help, I started making calls and good friends for money to borrow, while inquiring if they knew where I could get a good used car to buy. I had about a week to go in for the interview, and so every minute counted. You have to know when you have received the call to arms. You have to know if you are going to be a successful person. You have to know when it is your time, when your time has come. The first old car which I was able to pay down on was not suitable for sales, so the marketing manager turned me down. He said that he could not hire me with that size car. It was not gas efficient and was too big to maneuver in city traffic. When he got up and shook my hand and told me he was sorry, but he could not give me a job, I remained seated. I noticed that his eyes were fixed on me, and I wondered if he was angry that I was still sitting there. But I told him that I would go back home and change the car for another one. Thank goodness that even though I had paid the money on that old car, the owner told me that he could not give it to me that morning. So I went into the interview without it. It was God at work. I did not know. God has a way to work to come true for you, even when you don't realize it. When I went to see him in the afternoon, coming from the interview, he gave me back my money without any fuss. And so I was able to purchase another car, owing $1,000 on it. So on my next visit to the company, I was able to drive in to see the marketing manager. And on this occasion, he gave me the job. He also said to me that he was employing me on the ground that his intuition told him. His intuition told him that I had something in me for marketing. He said that on the first occasion, when he had turned me down, I remained seated. He said that he was impressed by that. A good sales representative is not one who gives up easily and takes the first no for an answer. A good sales representative is one who stands his ground gently but firmly. Gently but firmly. That persistent attitude which he said I displayed gave him the assurance that something was in me with which he could work, even though I was a clergyman. He said he did not have any faith in clergymen because becoming sales representatives. But the attitude which I displayed was the first positive impact that I made on him. The other positive impact which I had on him and on the marketing manager, the managing director rather, and the whole sales team was the hard work which I put in. For the first 3 months in a row, I was the salesman of the month. They were shocked. They were astounded. I never flinched. I never looked back. This besides great odds. With the right mindset, consistency, and discipline, I have found marketing to be rewarding. I have been doing marketing now from 1986 to present. So I speak from experience. I started my own marketing company with the experience which I had gleaned from working for the company which gave me my start. Most business people tend to go into their own businesses similar to the one with which they have worked because that is the experience and knowledge that they have. In marketing, you will meet all kinds of people. Some will discourage you and some will encourage you. When I just started, I recall people saying to me that in sales, sometimes you do not sell and sometimes you sell to make good money. Knowing that I went in from a poverty-stricken background, I told myself that that would not happen to me. I would always be selling and collecting good commissions. And God is my witness, I never had a bad month. I worked and brought home money every month as if I had been working on a fixed salary. It all depends on your attitude to work. Are you willing to work? Are you the kind of person who will set priorities and stick to them? Bear in mind that in marketing, some people will be nice to you. Some will be rude and nasty. But the bottom line is that at the end of the day, you earn money to take home. And surprisingly, some of those who may not be nice to you at first oftentimes become your good friends afterward. In marketing, one needs to know one's customers and organize oneself to serve them. When you build a good relationship with them, you will find that some will call in your orders, and some will not buy from sales representatives that readily, buy from other sales reps that readily. They will save your orders. But do not take any situation for granted. Serve your customers. Know your purchasing patterns, and do not be late or derelict in duty. I will be doing a number of videos and offering lessons on the different techniques and skills that you can acquire through these videos to build yourself and build a career and say goodbye to poverty. Poverty is not a blessing. It is not something commendable. Poverty, some people refer to it as a crime. You ought to call it a crime, call it a crime. Poverty is dehumanizing and humiliating. I told myself at the time that the slaughterhouse of poverty was not my destiny. I love the things that money can buy. And I sought to empower myself through marketing and hard work. And when I say hard work, I mean consistent work. I disciplined myself. Discipline yourself. In the next lesson, I'll deal with the skills and the techniques that you can acquire through these videos to build a lasting career. Goodbye. Next time. For good.